sometimes the things that you do will only make sense in reverse, but you got to do them. Don't be surprised if you start losing people. Don't be surprised if people don't understand. Don't be surprised if people think you acting funny. Don't be surprised if people start talking about you behind your back. That is what happens. All good will be attacked. The power that you're building right now is going to be able to trump anything that opposes you. Sometimes you got to walk through a door that's meant only for you to recondition, relearn, and renew yourself, and you come back out on the other side as the person that you're supposed to be.
We're having the uncomfortable conversation.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What's going on, YouTube? G. Bryant here, and I'm going to talk to you about the dark side of eating raw fruits and vegetables for over a year. Now, if you don't know, I ate raw fruits and vegetables, which started out to just be a 90-day journey. I documented the entire thing. It's on my YouTube. It went viral. It has over 5 million views, but I ended up going over an entire year. Now, I created a movement around raw vegan, eating raw fruits and vegetables. I talked about all the highlights. I talked about how it changed my life, how I was able to detox my body on a cellular level, connect with God on a whole nother level, clear skin, remove joint pain, all the different things that I talked about throughout the entire journey, but I never talked about the dark side. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some things you may not know if you're considering to go raw for any reason. Now, the first thing I want you to know is when you're going through these processes and you're shedding this new identity and you're becoming this new person, you can't really see what that looks like. And you're not going to be able to see what that looks like with all these people around you and answering all these questions. You really got to focus on yourself. So solitude, which is needed, can also turn to isolation if you let it. And when you become isolated, that's when the enemy really wants to try to get involved, right? And wants you to challenge what you're doing. It wants you to think about the identity that you're becoming and ask yourself, do you want all those old things that you left, right? To start proposing those things to you. And there's really not a community, especially when you're going through a process by yourself, that you can just automatically latch to if you're not part of one. Like, there are, communities of people that do these things for a living. But if you in a city somewhere, if you out here, in some environment that this is not big or is not a thing that people do, you can be on your own. And I know you could feel like that, but I'm here to tell you right now, that's just part of the journey. That's the test that's going to be your testimony, because without no test, there can be no testimony. There's a reason why you decided to do it. You probably had a health issue. You probably had some mental things going on. And maybe you had some environmental things going on. And you were like, I have to change. And this is the way to change, because God does say that these fruits will heal, these herbs will heal. It's already written. So you knew what you were doing and you knew why you were doing it. You have to stand sturdy on that when you're going through this journey, okay? Now, another thing that's going to happen is you're going to probably lose some friends, right? Some people not going to understand why you're doing what you're doing. I'm going to tell you, when I started my journey, I lost some people. Well, people didn't get it. It wasn't the norm. I lost business relationships as well, where they were just like, I was crazy. I lost a lot of followers on social media. But what I realized is everything that I lost, that was just a representation of what needed to go already, that I was already holding on to. So those things will happen. You will lose people. You will lose what you think are the opportunities that you're supposed to have. But what you're gaining in spirit and what you're gaining in the future, you just don't know. And sometimes the things that you do will only make sense in reverse, but you got to do them. So if you feel like you've been led to this journey for some reason, just understand that some things will be taken away and you can't look at them as losses. Some of them will be lessons. And some of them going to be blessings. I'm going to tell you, some of the things that I lost, that I thought I was losing, that I didn't understand why, I'm going to tell you right now, I can sit here today telling you that they were all worth it. It was all worth it. The peace I have now is worth everything I lost, that I thought I lost. And I was able to continue to build, but build from a solid slate. My body, my mind, my spirit, right? I'm back. Right? I was able to do whatever I needed to do because I didn't look at those things and harp on to them. So don't look at the things that you lose. You're going to lose friends. Family might not understand, but this is not about you. Some of you may have been so wrapped up in your identity and other things and other people that this is what you need to do to remove all of those things. You've been tied your entire life to what people think your outcome should be rather than what God thinks your outcome should be. And you don't have any control or any direction or any discipline in your life to even see it through. So this is what happens when you start eating the way nature has provided for us, right? When you start letting your DNA and your chemistry integrate with what nature and what God has already created. Don't be surprised if you start losing people. Don't be surprised if people don't understand. Don't be surprised if people think you acting funny. Don't be surprised if people start talking about you behind your back. That is what happens. All good will be attacked, right? And when you're starting to move into a good, into a realm that is satisfied to yourself first, because you've been taking yourself for granted physically, the food you've been eating. Don't be surprised when there's an opposite reaction that's equal to the thing that you're trying to do. Now, in physics, it says there's an equal and opposite reaction. But I'm going to tell you right now, it may seem like it if you let it, But there's another power inside of you that can trump over anything that's coming up upon you. I'm gonna say it again. It may seem as if it's even more powerful to you, but I'm trying to tell you right now, if you trust and believe, the power that you're building right now is going to be able to trump anything that opposes you, right? Nothing can prosper. Another thing that's going to happen is you're going to start to question yourself and if it's even worth it. You're going to start reminiscing. You may have some dreams about all the things that you used to be involved with, right? Your subconscious mind will start going crazy and start creating realities that don't even exist consciously because you're still replaying old memories from things that you used to be. You're stripping those things out. So all these processes are going through, all these spiritual things are going through, and you're going to start questioning, is it even worth it? I ain't gonna lie, there was a time where I'm just like, who am I? At that breaking point, at that turning point, that's where you can feel it with whoever you're supposed to be. See, sometimes you don't question who you are when you're filled with the world. You just know internally that this is something that you shouldn't be doing. And that's what I know. Like, you don't really question it on a day-to-day basis. You kind of feel it more than you question it. But I'm gonna tell you, when you become conscious of the change that you're making, you're gonna start to question it, and you may have imposter syndrome around it. And I'm gonna tell you why you have imposter syndrome around this change. It's like, can I really be this person? Can I really be this divine person, this clean person, this disciplined person? The reason why you start to have imposter syndrome around is because you're actually the person that should be doing it. Because if you wasn't chosen to do it, there would be no imposter syndrome. You're supposed to be right here. And that's the truth. So don't let anybody knock you off the journey. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna look like times where you can't see what's next, but you're not supposed to see. That's where faith comes in. See, most of us, we've been so spiritual until it's actually time to be spiritual. Actually time to believe that what you're doing is true and that God is ordering those steps. You start to touch it. You want to ask for opinions. You want to get validation and recognition. But when it's your time to be on the front line and really have to believe in what you're doing, we fold. But don't fold, because you don't have to fold. You continue to go. I'm here to give you confirmation that it's actually okay. Keep on going. So another thing that's going to happen, which is the dark side of going raw vegan, is the enemy will try to invade. Once you start to open up this space where you start to remove this old identity, the enemy is here to cause confusion. The enemy is here for you to start to have rosy-eyed glasses around the old person. The enemy is here to make you question, this is what I should be doing. Should I be cleansing my body? Should I be cleansing my temple? Right now, we know our gut and our brain are connected. This is actually kind of like your first mind, and it's connected to our vagus nerve. So you have to cleanse that. I always believe that the more I clean myself, the more I cleanse, the more I detox, the more I fast, this gets more efficient and more sharper. I've had multi-million-dollar ideas. I've continued to run multi-million-dollar companies since doing that, right? And I believe that that was my next step in business as a health and wellness entrepreneur. And if you're a health and wellness entrepreneur, this might be something that you need to do. You have to live it. And people have to see it in you. We're in an era where people have to literally see you. And no matter what you are, what type of entrepreneur, what type of person you are, even if you work a 9 to 5, when you walk in a room, you want people to think about who is behind that life. Who is authoring that life? But you can't do that unless you're disciplined. But the enemy doesn't want that. See, the enemy studies you too. The enemy actually believes in you too. That's why it doesn't want you to become who you're supposed to be. The enemy can see your potential just as God can see your potential. So there's going to be this fight, but who are you going to let win? So when you fast, when you detox, when you cleanse, you're putting a stake in the ground saying, I stand for myself. But there's a dark side to that does not want that to happen. But you got to stand up and say, listen, this is what's going to happen because this is what I believe in. I think every single person should experience detoxing their body on a cellular level. And if you have it, you should. No matter if you're a 9 to 5er, matter if you're unemployed, matter if you're a Fortune 500 CEO, if you're a 6-figure earner, millionaire, billionaire, whatever you are, you should experience what that looks like. We must take care of our temples. And fasting, eating what nature has put for us, is one of the keys to that success. Another thing you may struggle with after eating raw fruits and vegetables for an extended period of time is integrating back into society. Because you've become this new person, and practically you're not gonna know what to eat sometimes. You're not gonna be able to do the same things. Usually after you go through this cleansing on a cellular level, your body is gonna start to reject things that you used to accept. It's not gonna want any processed food. It's not gonna want refined sugars and acidic foods all the time. You have to integrate back into society first with your diet. And then secondly, you have to integrate back into society with the person that you are. Right? You might have lost some weight. You might look cleaner. You might look clearer. A lot of things happen throughout this process. And one thing just on a diet level is because you're going to be eating so much fiber, you have to teach yourself how to eat cleaner, but eat more. See, sometimes when you eat clean, you'll feel more full because there's a lot of fiber in the fruits and the vegetables. You're going to have to be aware that you need to eat more because you're eating clean. You can go eat a McDonald's burger and eat 2 of those, 3 of those, and they be like 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, right? And you don't feel full. You might have a salad or some fruits and vegetables and it's only 500 calories and you feel full. So these are some things you have to consider as you start to integrate yourself back in society. When I was integrating myself back into what I call the matrix, I had to really start deciding, okay, how do I want to eat? What does it look like? It took me a little time to get my diet together. Now, I still eat a good amount of my food raw. I'm like 50, 60% raw. Sometimes I eat raw for weeks at a time or days at a time. My other diet is plant-based alkaline, whole foods. I don't eat any processed food. I try to stay away from acidic foods to the best of my ability. Now, every now and then, it may happen, but my body immediately reminds me that this is not what is supposed to be inside of my temple. For the person out there that's considering going raw vegan, or that's considering eating raw fruits and vegetables for a period of time, you will get the benefits. You will get the benefits, and they are very beneficial, but you do have to be aware of these things that I talked about. Now, I call this the dark side of eating raw fruits and vegetables, but as we know, dark is just the absence of light. What you're building right now is a light inside of you that's going to shine over all the darkness. And it doesn't mean anything about what the enemy has to say, what people have to say, or how anyone else feels about your journey. Because sometimes you got to walk through a door that's meant only for you to recondition, relearn, and renew yourself. And you come back out on the other side as the person that you're supposed to be. Now, look, if you've been considering this journey and you need some help getting started, I have a raw vegan guide somewhere in the description below. And if you're a health and wellness entrepreneur that wants to grow, I have some resources for you as well. But listen, start the journey. The journey is waiting for you. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. That's the G code. Peace.